starting a ketogenic diet but don't want to have the keto flu? In this video, I'm going to give you some tips on how to avoid the keto flu. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. And today, continuing doing keto the healthy way, I want to talk about keto flu. Well, essentially happened because you're used to consuming carbohydrates and sugars and all those types of food that the body really likes because it prefers the carbohydrates for energy. And so when you start making changes and depriving your body from those types of foods, then there is a period of time where you need adjustment, and so that's when people start feeling those types of symptoms. Is in that window of time where the body is going from consuming carbohydrates for energy to adapting and using fat for energy. And so in that period of time, many people experience the keto flu. And there's ways to avoid that. And actually, if you start doing keto the healthy way, you might not even ever feel that. Talking a little bit back on my experience, the first time when I first heard about keto and started doing it right away, I did feel all those symptoms, and they pass. It's not like it lasts a long time. Once you start getting into ketosis, in a little bit few days after, it depends on every person is different. Some people go into ketosis in 3-4 days, some people takes a couple of weeks, so you shouldn't worry too much about that. But for me, the first time it was fairly fast, 3-4 days, and I start feeling all weird and kind of dizzy in the beginning, which scared me a little bit. I have not felt any symptoms or anything like that because this time around I was kind of ahead of the game, knowing what to do. And so if you up your water intake and minerals, vitamins and minerals, because when you start depriving yourself from sugars and carbs and all these types of foods, you want to kind of be ahead of the game on terms of your body. You want to keep it strong, and you want to consume vitamins and minerals and everything that you need to kind of fight back any types of symptoms. Of course, if you consume a lot of greens and vegetables, there's lots of minerals and vitamins and rich good stuff for you. If you don't consume, or you're not used to it, and you kind of have to start slowly integrating greens and vegetables, there are supplements that you can get. You can go, I would recommend you can find them everywhere and for any budget, but for you starting keto, I will really try the best you can to get good quality minerals and vitamins and supplements, just because it's your only weapon against the symptoms. If it's not a big deal for you and you think you can just kind of, if you feel like you can wait it out, and for your body, you really should consume electrolytes, especially in the first few weeks. In the shower, normally just showering, washing my hair and stuff, and chunks of hair will come out, and or products or chemicals or anything. So I kind of started looking into, maybe it's what I'm doing, maybe something I'm eating now that I didn't really eat before could cause these issues. And then it comes to find out that there are more testimonials and other people that had happened to, where their hair started falling or their skin changed, and it's because, like I said before, you jump right into changes, and this will cause, it's a side effect, it's a payback. Your body is in shock, doesn't know what to do. You're not eating as much or the same way you were doing it before, so it kind of goes into, you know, survival mode. Minerals and my electrolytes, my hormones were more in balance, and that stopped, which I was very, very happy. I was super scared at first, but once I started implementing all of that in my everyday routine, then my hair loss stopped. And also a quick tip: if you do decide to get vitamins and minerals and supplements on pills or even liquids, however you can get to them, trying to space them out throughout, because the body has to deal with one thing. I mean, it could do a lot of stuff at a time, but I kind of find out best for me, and it could help you if I space them out. If I take a whole bunch of pills at once, I don't think I'm taking the most of it, or the most benefit from them, because I don't think everything will really get absorbed and used the proper way, opposed to space them out a couple of hours in between or a few hours in between, depends on how many you're taking. But for me, that works the best if I space them out. And basically that's how you want to avoid feeling sick or sluggish or dizzy when you're starting keto. And you think about all these greens and vegetables that you have to consume, because it is very important that you do. And if you feel bloated, we're consuming a lot of vegetables. I mentioned also before, you can get enzymes to help you digest those vegetables, because this is what's happening. You're not used to consuming greens and vegetables, and once you do or consume a lot of them, you feel horrible. You feel bloated and it's uncomfortable. The way I drink mine is I do apple cider vinegar. It is a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons, depends on if I want to drink it twice or once a day. Usually twice a day. And I drink it with water, a full cup of water with the 1 or 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar, and I just cut lemons and squeeze them with it, and that kind of helps with the acidity of the apple cider vinegar, and it tastes a little better. And you can also put 1 stevia in there to just kind of mask the taste. But to be honest, what I do with my apple cider vinegar is drink it like it's the end of the world, pretty fast, just to get it over with. But I do it every single morning and sometimes in the afternoon. And it's very, very good, and also will help you with the digestion of your vegetables, which is a plus. If you're feeling bloated with vegetables and greens, it's only because you're not used to consuming that much of them, and that will eventually pass, because then your body will start making enzymes to deal with what you're consuming. Let's face it, normally average people don't consume that much greens and vegetables ever, but they're very, very important to help your body deal with the intake of fat. So you want to try to consume lots of greens and vegetables, and of course I would recommend you to get the real thing, the real greens and vegetables, and just find a way of consuming lots of them. Or if you just totally can't see yourself doing it, then at least try to get a substitute, because you do need it kind of helps you flush out the toxins and junks and everything that your body doesn't really need. So they play a pretty important role in this diet. It could get too much, so start little by little, getting used to the types of food. Then you eventually will get to calculating what you need, and then by that time you're probably in ketosis and you don't feel as hungry, so it's easier to think about what you're gonna eat, when you're gonna eat it, and how much you're gonna eat, because many people, including myself in the past, will eat just because I like something. I will just eat it and a lot of it. I could eat a lot of something that I like, but then you don't really need all that. So after you're getting a fat addicted in ketosis, is you're more focused and clear-minded, and it becomes easier to pick and choose what you're gonna eat and when. Just real quick about my progress right now. I think I did mention also that I was doing 1 meal a day with the intermittent fasting, and I do consume lots of greens and vegetables. And if you think that is like how you do that, well, it is a lot. I will do my 5 or 7 cups of vegetables and greens in 1 meal. But how I do it, I will just really shrink it all down on the food processor, and that helps a lot. Also, a quick tip for those who are starting to consume vegetables and greens that didn't like them before. Doing keto in the beginning, you can mask. It worked out for me amazingly, and you can mask all of that with things you do like. If you like bacon, most people like bacon. I didn't really eat bacon before, but when I transitioned to keto, because it's so tasty and salty kind of thing, then I kind of start adding it to the greens, mixing them, and kind of just to get some flavor, and it was helping me. And then eventually I just stopped eating it because I wasn't really liking bacon before. But it do help with the flavor if you not want to kind of mask out the greens. And also cheese, I will just kind of steam up a little bit all the greens and put cheese on top, and that kind of helps me just to break down the green color and kind of consume it. Now I'm totally fine with them. I know they're good for me, so I just don't consume them because I absolutely love them. I consume them because they help me and they're good for my body, and they're good to make you even healthier. For everybody starting keto, you might want to find a I don't want to say a laxative, but I want to find something, maybe fiber. Consume fiber on a daily basis, because if you're starting with these changes, your body could, your bowels can also experience changes, and you could become constipated for a little bit. And if you don't want that, once you're doing keto, you want to start something like adding fiber to your liquids or consuming more fiber on the vegetable form. But you do want to kind of think ahead, and knowing that you could get constipated, start doing something to keep you regular throughout the process. Your body through too quickly, too fast, too short of a time, and that's what happened. I was getting constipated and didn't really know about it, and before I freak out and go to the doctor, I just started consuming something to kind of keep me regular. And this time around I was ahead of the game, and have not yet, and I'm 3 weeks in already in ketosis, experienced anything change with my bowels or anything. I'm just continuing regular. So it's just a tip for you people out there to take, to just kind of think ahead, everything that could happen where you're doing these changes, and avoid them by fighting back with strategies like taking something to keep you going, minerals, vitamins. I will post some things in the screen, and you can pause the video, write it down. I don't think you have to take all of them, but some of them, the electrolytes and apple cider vinegar, are like my #1 recommendation. And also pink Himalayan salt. If you're consuming some other salt right now, I want you to go to your kitchen, stop this video, go to your kitchen, throw that away. Just throw that away, because that is not good for you. That's horrible for your entire family. So just go on and throw that away. And when you come back, I keep talking about the pink Himalayan salt. Now that is super good for you. It's much better than regular salt, and actually tastes better. So you can salt your food with that. And just a quick another tip for what I do with my vegetables. I mentioned I put everything on the food processor, and actually I'm just gonna make a quick video later and show you guys what I do with all my vegetables, because people don't believe me. It's like insane. It's way too much to eat at one time, but once you put it in the food processor, this much becomes this much, and it's easier to eat it. So I put salt with it right in the food processor, and after, once I cook them, I also sprinkle just a little bit on top, and it gives it that little flavor. The only thing I just deal with is the color. Green is not my favorite color, but I bypass that because, you know, green, go green, so it's healthy for you. So it's just, that doesn't really matter. But yeah, so that's how I consume lots of vegetables in the one meal. And another thing, when I say one meal, it doesn't mean you have to eat absolutely everything in the one sitting. Although that's what I do, because I just want to get it over with. And like I said, once you're at that, I don't feel hungry, really hungry before or really hungry after, because I consume enough fat and vegetables to keep me okay until my next one, which will be the next day. But one meal doesn't mean one sitting. You can have, once you're starting, you obviously don't want to just eat one time. You can do your 3 meals, no snackings, and then eventually work your way to 2. And if you're fine there, you can stay there. If you want to up it up, or your goal is to lose even more, then you can go to 1. But 1 meal or even 2 meals don't mean just the one sitting, eat everything and you're done and you want to eat it fast. Your 1 meal means, when you're intermittent fasting, you have a window. So if you have 6 hours to eat your 1 or 2 meals, then you, in those 6 hours which you can eat, you can spread the 1 or 2 meals however you want. I just find it for myself that I just want to eat it at one time and get it over with. And also because every time you eat, there's a spike of insulin. And even with lots of vegetables and fat, which don't really trigger like if you're consuming regular carbs and sugar, but will be present. And so I like to minimize that by having the one sitting. I have the one sitting, it'll spike up and it'll come down whenever it wants, because I won't consume anything else until my next meal. But in the beginning, for those out there who want to start, don't worry about that. Just have your 3 solid meals or 2 solid meals, but do not, I will not want to tell people to snack, because like I say, when you eat anything, you have a spike of insulin. So as insulin goes up, and the presence of insulin, there's no weight loss. And it takes a while to come down in your body, and before it comes all the way down, you will snack or eat again, and before it comes down, you have to go back up. And so your body's constantly pushing insulin out to deal with what you're eating, and in the presence of insulin, there is no weight loss. And if your goal is to lose weight, then you want to think about that. Kind of use it as a strategy of when are you going to eat and what, because many things, some things will spike insulin more than others, and that's kind of why you want to keep the protein moderate protein, so you don't kind of go over and it turns into glucose and sugar and it's basically sabotage your whole progress. So you want to think about that, and that's the reason why I do the one meal. I could spread it in two, but I figure if I just eat everything at once and get it over with, and which I've been doing anyways, and it's easy for me to do it, and I'm totally fine with it, and I'm okay until the next day, then why just mentally? That's kind of like what I was doing before. I will eat and then later on just kind of eat something again, and you don't realize you are consuming all these things and all these calories, and also with the drinks. I mean, people can drink a lot of liquid not realizing how much sugar could be in those liquids, including those sugar-free drinks. And if you're doing keto and you want to be living a healthier lifestyle, then you want to rethink your drinks too, because they do count. It depends what your goals are. There is no quick fix, and every lifestyle or workout regimen or whatever it is that you want to do, there is going to be some hard work with it. So don't look for the easy route. This video I'm gonna talk about cravings and how to deal with them. And if you have any questions or comments, or you need strategies, you can always leave me a comment. Until next time, bye guys.